DJs never stories.
Hey, you're now tuned in to the two coolest laid-back cousins of the podcast industry. I am the king of calling off, a.k.a. the Thirst Trap King, b.k.a. give your woman the bambi legs, ooh.
Shall we shag now or shall we shag later?
A.B.
And I'm the dopest square you can find. Smalltalk. What's the word? What is the word?
And this is episode 64 of Podcast Mondayz. Cuzzo Bluzzo. How are you doing, my boy?
I'm good, man. It's episode 64. Got a great guest on with us today.
Yes, sir.
Right, let's just get to it, man. This is my good friend. I met him probably when I was, probably 20 when I first started dancing. He was, he had this dance crew. He wanted to run and called it Enigma, and I was part of that group. He goes by Maven. He's a jack of all trades to me. Like, he's an artist. That I always remember him as an artist, but he does a lot of other things. So Maven, go ahead and introduce yourself to the fans and let them know who you are.
Yes, fans. Listen, I really can't do any of that stuff that he was talking about anymore, but
dance.
Yeah, like dancing, I can't, you know. But yeah, so I'm an artist, entrepreneur, advocate, and when I say artist, that's inclusive of dancing, singing, poetry. Oh, okay, cool.
Good. There you go.
Let me try it again. That's inclusive of dancing, singing, poetry. I can't really act, but I tried. You know,
you say you tried.
I tried. You know, poetry. I'm gonna say rapping because you know I'm a poet, so I'm gonna try to slide that in there.
Yeah.
And then you know I'm an entrepreneur. I have my own LLC, and so I do a lot of stuff. I'm taking that too far, but you know, you specifically asked about the artistic part, so I stuck there. So
yeah. So man, I mean, most important thing, like this, the reason we're gonna do this show is because you are a gay black man and proud of it. Okay, you're not the one that try to hide it. Never was when I seen ever since I met you. You always was proud of who you are. But before we get to all that, just let you know, so the fans can know who we got on the show. Like we gonna be into it. We're gonna be get deep into it. But we're going to start off with the song today. All right, song in your ear. Like, remember, I told you last show that I'm going to start playing artists that y'all don't know. All right, so AB, I guess I'm going to go first. This artist here is Next Town Down. Song is called Headspace. Check it out. It's dope music. Hey, episode 64. Make sure y'all follow us on all platforms. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of it. AB with the drops. Hey.
Moving high speed like a race. They been trying to take me out my headspace. Ain't no stopping, ain't no brakes. No, dipping, diving through the pressure, I just shake and bake. Give me that face, she gon' give me that face. Everything is thick, got a lot of things on my plate. Get out my face, yeah. Another flight, another big hit, yeah. Do you wanna get away? Do you wanna play?
Oh, I just did it again. Money gon' blow like the wind. Oh, I just did it again. Yeah. Money gon' blow like the wind. Put it on replay. Shout out to DJ. She wanna fuck all my friends. I make the juice with gin. We make the rules bend.
What did you mean? What did you mean when you mess with my team? What did you do? What did you sing? What did you mean when you mess with my team? What did you mean? What did you mean? What did you mean when you mess with my team? What did you mean? What did you sing? What did you mean when you mess with my team? What did you mean when you mess with my team? Whoa. What did you sing? What did you sing? Whoa.
pull up in drops, ayy. Still do not fool with the ops, ayy.
Yes, sir. That's Next Town Down. Dope music, bro. Headspace. What you got, AB?
Hey, y'all hear me real good, right? Last time we was really having bad like technical difficulties. I don't know if nobody know that shit, but yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm used to like all old school music or whatever, but this song came on. It's called "Baddest" by Young Bleu, Chris Brown, and 2 Chainz. Man, you know Chris Brown,
CB.
that dude. Anything he own, man, he just slaps. So let's get to it, man.
DJ Burley famous. DJ Burley famous.
Hey, this is my shit right here. Whoa.
Gave you all my love, that shit been adding up. We should get away somewhere and run it up.
Throw a little ad-lib in there.
Need you to bring all of your friends and let's fuck it up. I know you ain't been touching up. I know you ain't the only one, no. Need you to bring all of your friends and let's fuck it up. I know you ain't been touched enough. I know you ain't the only one.
See you with your friends, you got her. Brand new bitch, you got her. Nigga blowing up your phone, you ain't thinking about her. She just wanna turn up with her girls, get the stress off. And I just wanna take her to the room, get that dress off. Even though I'm in a good mood, I fuck you like I'm pissed off. And don't give me no attitude, you gon' make my dick soft. Her she wanna fuck me cause I'm lit now. Yeah, her she wanna fuck me cause I'm rich now. We can link out at the club, I got her pinned down. Second till
Make
I
sure y'all enjoy y'all week.
I made her get down. She got no ass and no titties, she a 10 now. She got no ass and no titties, she a 10 now.
Sexy motherfucker. That's my favorite part.
Sexy motherfucker, you the
Happy Monday.
Whoa. Gave you all my
Podcast Mondays.
We should get away somewhere and run it up.
Y'all blessed.
I'm tryna fall in love.
We here. Let's go.
Ass and no titties, she a 10 now. She got no ass and no titties, she a 10 now.
Sexy
You know I
motherfucker.
got your back, baby. We ain't gotta talk about it. Your booty sticking out. They gotta walk around and take my queen to king of diamonds. PJ, I switched to climbing. It ain't no seat assignment. Goes I wake up on the island. I'll bring your friends so y'all can fuck it up. Us did a couple trip. I bought a couple zips. I brought some Molly and some shrooms. You think we flew here? Oh, we gon' really trip. Pussy on fingertips. Yeah, I'ma kiss them lips. I'm talking both arms. I told her ride the dick, and I'm the chauffeur. I hit it from the side, then I make a fold up. Pussy too wet for me to fuck you on my sofa. Mess it up.
Hey. That's right. Can't get no righter. Alright, man. So, cuz what you want to get into?
My bad, I'm back. I'm sorry. Let me give me a nice little drink here. First off, let's talk about what you been up to. High school.
Okay. Hey, man, school's been, woo. School been kind of heavy, but I'm getting through it. See, the hard part is just trying to manage the kids, and you know, I can't get ahead because I'm at work for 8 hours, and I come home and be a daddy for 8 hours or 12 hours. So it's like I gotta try to fit it in. But school, I mean, it's going good, man. I'm in for media communications, in case somebody don't know.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of projects and like creating, a lot of creation going on. But it's all good, man. You know, being COVID free, feeling
Shit.
good. What about you, cuzzo? What's going on?
Man, shit. Same old. You know me. My football team, we undefeated right now. We can't get niggas ass and shit like that. It ain't nothing.
Yeah, I need some competition.
Well, we did, but
y'all demolished them too.
Yeah, that's what happens. Anyway, this show is basically about when we started this show. We started this show on getting educating folks while we're getting educated.
Right.
Facts.
And so, like Cuzzo said, we brought you on the show just to educate us, because I would say we can be ignorant to the fact of not knowing certain things or certain things, so basically we want to just kind of give you the floor, man, and just educate us and educate our fans, man, as well. So I think this would be a amazing show. I appreciate you coming on the show and just being able to educate us, man. For real.
I'm gonna take to give you a good leadway. When did you know that you was interested in men or boys or whatever? When did you know?
You on a football team?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Well, no, I coach, but I play ball my life.
Oh, okay, cool. That question was just like in my brain. I had to ask. Dang, that.
Like, when did it click? Like, we don't know how it works. Like, I have a theory that you born that way. Not you, but
people in general.
Well, like I said, some of this stuff might seem ignorant, but
no. And so I think, well, first of all, I think one of the important things about communication and conversation is being vulnerable enough to learn new information, right. Being honest enough to say I don't know, and so I think just the fact that you all are vulnerable enough or open enough or honest enough to say I want to learn, I want to know more. I think there's no need to apologize, because sometimes I think it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to be ignorant. No, because you're opening up the floor to a conversation that a lot of men don't like to have,
right.
Especially black men.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And so I think that So I appreciate that. So I want to make sure that you know that in advance. You know what I mean. But when it comes to me knowing that I was gay, I guess that's the question. Number one, I think it's a misconception that there has to be one or the other, whether you're born gay or whether you somehow evolve into whatever. I think it's different for different people. To me, it's all individual. I think that some folks, right off the bat, they know that I'm, interested in this. And I think over time, other folks kind of evolve, and it's like, let me try this. Let me see what's going on. You know what I mean? Because I think for the most part, and this is just my opinion, and some folks, base it off of, facts and studies and stuff like that. But I personally feel like, most of us are blank slates, and so when we're raised, when we're cultivated, to be whoever we are, sometimes what we see, what we observe, what we gravitate to, what we see in our own household, what we see in church, when we see whatever, it kind of, for some people, it just leads them in a certain direction. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's the complete opposite. You know what I'm saying? So there are some people who I believe, like for instance me, I was never raised around openly gay people, like none, like my mother wasn't, my biological mother wasn't, my uncle wasn't. They were married, they had couples, they had all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? They were military, you know what I mean? And I was raised in church, and and I would, at that time, it was, even though it's always been gay people in church, and a whole lot of them, you know what I mean? The church that I was at, it wasn't something that was like talked about or okay or anything like that. So I wasn't raised in an environment where there was gay people around me. You know what I mean? Everybody was straight and married and stuff like that, and I still was just gay as, can I curse?
Don't, man.
Oh,
hey, we grown.
Hey, I was still gay as fuck. You know what I mean? Right. So like but I also know people who were raised, that are my age, that were raised by gay parents and are straight as fuck. You know what I mean? Actually, the crazy thing is, in my experience, most of the young kids that I know that are either kids now, right? Because I know a lot of gay people and trans people with children, and that are like in their teens, and they're like straight. Like all of them are straight. I can't name one child of any of my friends that are gay that any of their kids are like gay. Like they're all straight.
So that's the misconception I get, like that you a product of what you're around, so you so that's not true at all.
No, I mean it can be,
but it's not
anything can be.
It's not up there in the percentile.
Yeah, because if you think about that, think about how we're raised by just our parents in general. Most folks can think about things that their parents have done in front of them or that they've seen that they don't do. So if you think man, my parents used to fight in front of me, or man, my parents used to do this drug in front of me, or man, my parents used to, do I do any of that? No. but you were raised by them and you saw that. So, you know, I just think this idea that because your parents do something, you're automatically inclined to do that too. Like, that's just ridiculous. And I think it's easy for, honestly, straight people to say that because, you know, anything that's easy for you to come up with a rational reason to rationalize why you don't think something is right, you're going to go with. Right. You get what I'm saying? So, but I didn't even answer your question. So, for me anyway, I knew this is a funny story. You know, when we was in school at Valentine's Day came, and you know, in school you had to pass out, you got to pass out your little Valentine's Day cards and stuff like that. And you started that as early as kindergarten. Right. So like first,
I had hella kiss me's.
Yeah.
I was like, girl, meet me at the co-room.
Okay.
Because on God, be there.
Yeah.
On God.
So I did too. You know what I mean? And when I was trying to figure out who did I like, because it was always, even when you was, you know, in first and second grade, you kind of knew the first section, the first table or desk you want to go to. I want to give it to them because and I was like, I want to give it to whatchamacallit over here. You know what I mean? And I was like, you know what I mean? And I knew something was different because when I would ask to do that, my teacher would be like, "Are you sure?" Like she would kind of, and I remember that she was like, you know, she would kind of like nudge me, like, "Hey,
that's a boy, you know that, right?"
I want to get that to, you know.
Give it to
Shantisha over there, you know what I mean?
Somebody,
and so I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to, you know, Latrell over here. You know what I mean? Right. And so Latrell is a fake name. You know, I wanted to, you know, give it to Latrell. And so I was like, okay. And then now this is the only time in my life where I feel like, and I'm very transparent. My mother, my biological, because I wasn't raised by her, but I was around her at some point in time. I was in an all boys choir, you know, for about 10 years. Okay. And so I started off in the choir when I was about, I want to say 10. And there were times where I felt like, but there were times where folks kind of tried to say, because I was in this all boys choir, that maybe this is why, you know, I ended up gay or whatever. And even in that choir, you know, there was a lot of boys in the choir, but the crazy thing was most of them were like straight as fuck. You know what I mean? And I was like this little, because they were also older. I was the youngest person in the choir because usually they didn't accept anybody unless they were like a certain age. And so like I found myself even being like uncomfortable in that environment around, like, it was 100 voice choir, so 100, and it was a lot, mostly black men. Jeez. You know, this was like, it was the YMCA boys choir. Okay. And so if you looked them up, they were, you know, it was a really dope thing like back in the day. And so I even figured out when I was around, you know, and then when I was hearing conversations, and you know how even when you're around older boys, older guys, they having conversations, they saying stuff, and I always was like, man, this I don't really rock with this conversation like that. I don't really feel, you know, in tune with this conversation, you know, and even though it was kind of negative, they would kind of make me know. They would make me know it that you ain't rocking with this conversation. Like, look at Trent over there. I don't think he, you know what I mean? And so me, you know, understand, I said, yeah, something is different. You know what I mean?
So was they excluding you with conversations and excluding you with activities they was doing, like get him?
No, they didn't exclude me. However, they definitely. I'm an energy person. Even as a young kid, I energy spoke to me. You know what I mean? And so even when we were having conversations and talking, I kind of noticed that, you know, they treat me a little bit different, or I kind of noticed that moment where it's like they go away and I see like a side conversation going on, I see something that happened, so I'm like, okay, clear, okay. And so even though, and I'm not saying, because then some people might say, well, did that make you? No, it just it reiterated and it reassured me that something is different, you know. And so once I got to third grade, I knew. Third grade, I knew. I was like, I like him. Okay. And that was
so. Was you never into
girls?
Yeah,
I had a girlfriend.
How old was you when you had a girlfriend?
I had like a couple girlfriends in elementary school, because they were, the crazy thing was, I was kind of popular, even though they talked about the shape of my head really, really bad.
What they say about your
man?
Sorry to bring back old memories.
That's cool. That's cool. That's why I'm not taking off this hat. This trauma.
So we grown now.
It's trauma. And I'm yet trying to get out of the trauma of my roller coaster head, which is what they
Roller
call
coaster
it, or
head.
football head, you know, is what they use. Shout out to those people, you know. So that's what they used to call me. But anyway, but besides that, I was kind of popular because I was on Zoom for like a couple episodes. That show on PBS. I was super smart. You know, I was in the choir, so I was always traveling and stuff like that. And I was doing a lot. I was on TV a couple times when I was a kid, like you know, the news. Singing,
was you singing and stuff?
Yeah, because the Boys Choir, we did Fox News like probably every month.
What's that fucking news channel they go? What's that shit?
Oh, it was Channel 5.
Was it Channel
Show
5?
Me St. Louis Today in St. Louis, something like that.
But it'd be like, you gotta do like hand gestures, but they'd do 5 or something.
Yeah, 5 and then 1.
It probably was. I mean, well, this was like back in the day, but like
I'm old, so it's like I think I was.
But we probably did that because it was like the Show Me St. Louis, the morning show.
Oh, the Show Me St. Louis.
Yeah.
Let's still come on.
I think it's another one. They got another name for it, but it was one of the morning. We did all of the morning shows. We did like. We sung the national anthem at the Cardinals game, all that kind of like dope stuff. So,
dope as shit.
So the kids at my school, mind you, I went to Normandy. You know what I mean? So the kids at my school was like, "Oh, that's tight." You know,
they
so
gravitated
I was kind of popular.
You living.
So some of the girls, you know, they knew something was, you know, but they were determined to be like, all right, I'm gonna go with Trent. You know, we gonna go together. You know what I mean? So I had a couple girlfriends, and it's just like, man, I don't.
You wasn't feeling it.
I just wasn't. You know,
you got a nice ass.
You know,
man.
I tried. I really tried in 4th and 5th grade, and it just was not happening. And then after that, I think I had one other experience with a girl, and it was in 7th grade. At a
with your finger or something.
No, I was playing with her breasts, like her titties. See, the thing is, I actually really like breasts. Like I really enjoy. I love breasts, and so I have a lot of some of my close female friends.
Let me see your titty. Pull your titty out.
Or they'd be like, "Can you? Hey, feel this?" You know what I mean? So I felt I have felt a whole lot of breasts, a whole lot of breasts. You know what I mean? Over time.
Yeah, my perverted ass.
Yeah, I mean, because, you know, female, you know, let me not say female, because I know a lot of women that would hate me for saying it.
Yeah, we say it too much, too. We be trying to say, when we say females.
Oh, so female's not a good word.
It can be, that's a whole nother, maybe I can have me on a guest on another day.
Yeah, man, for real. Like, I thought I'd rather... Because I say girl a lot. So I'm like, you know, I can't call a woman a girl. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, either female or woman.
I think woman will probably feel better, or just by their name. Okay. You know what I mean? But woman, I'm not. You know what? I'm not a woman. I'm not a woman. So but I am a feminist, because you can be a feminist and not be a woman, right? So
explain that, please. I don't know what they're talking about.
So feminist. So for me, I am very. I believe in the empowerment of women, right? And I believe that a lot of women have been subjected to sexism and to just bias just because of their gender. You know, as being women, we as men in general, even gay men, can be very sexist and very misogynist in the things that we do unintentionally sometimes, because we've been embedded and it's ingrained in us that for instance, a perfect example of something, and this is, some people say, man, it ain't even that deep, and it may not be that deep to you, and your intention may not to be something, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't offend or it doesn't make somebody feel some type of way. Like when we say, you guys, all the time. You know what I mean? Like whenever we talking about something, you come on guys, let's go. Even if it's like girls.
Now, you know what, my bad to cut you off. You know, I do try to be mindful, because like I work for a shredded company, and I go to different businesses picking up confidential papers, and sometimes I'm like, all right guys, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Excuse me, women. Sorry about
ladies.
that. Yeah, ladies, and I'm like, I'll talk to you, you know, ladies later. But it's just like, I'm so like, you know, it's just the norm. You know what I'm saying? But I do try my best to kind of be mindful about that, because I wouldn't want to. If I was a woman, I wouldn't want to be called no guy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I use that example because I don't think when people use that, most people I think that I experience don't use that as a means to be disrespectful to women. But that's example of the smallest piece, the smallest thing that just shows you how the world is so male dominated, and even the smallest conversations or statements that we make, you know, it's like men, you know, and you don't realize that until it's like, dang, you know, we do say a lot of stuff that's like, all right guys, or whatever, in situations, and it's like it's all women in here. It could I'm literally saying it'd be majority women in a room, and someone like, all right guys, get up, let's go. You get what I'm saying?
I get that. Yeah, I didn't either. Like I said, I was mindful about it because I'm like, because I went to, I could name it off. It's State Farm, white women. So I'm walking in there and all right, guys, I'll talk to you later. But then I like stopped myself. I said, all right, ladies, talk to you later. And the biggest smile on their face, because I recognized what I just did. But I wasn't trying to be malicious about it. I was just, just talking.
Yeah.
So when did you have your first boyfriend? How old was you? And was you comfortable?
Trash.
Was you comfortable? At that time in your life.
My love life is trash. I just want to start there. I really have only had 2 boyfriends ever, and so that was significantly a long time after I was like already gay. You know what I mean? So there was one experience that, if somebody said boyfriend, this would be the closest thing to a first boyfriend that I had. This was my best friend. We actually we met each other in elementary school, and we were best friends in elementary school. And this was one of the folks that I was trying to pass the letter to in elementary school. And so this was my best friend. And so he had a girlfriend, a real girlfriend, in elementary school, and like it was like that's his girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Because he was attracted to girls. But this was my best friend, and so when we got closer to 5th grade is when we actually 5th grade is when we actually had a kiss. That was like my first kiss with a boy. It was in 5th grade, and it was with my best friend, right? And so our friendship just got closer and closer and tighter and tighter. You know what I mean? Like it was to the point where they came up to my house, stayed the night. I went up to their house, they stayed the night. We went on trips together. We were just that close. You know what I mean? And so then once we got to middle school, it developed into like all of my first kind of sexual, this is the body what we're doing, was with that person, right? And so our relationship basically mirrored, the first, boyfriend that I ever had. It was really that relationship, and so, and it eventually end up becoming that, but because number one, we were so young, and we were also in Normandy. You know what I mean? Not bashing Normandy, because I love Normandy. You know what I mean?
I'm from Jennings.
But being in that space, it was something that could never be like, out loud. However, everybody knew. They was like, man, you know what I mean? And so it was really, really interesting. I remember one time I had got jumped. Did I get jumped, or did I just get my ass whooped?
You got jumped.
No, I got jumped.
Sorry, bro.
No, it wasn't like that. It wasn't, because this person was also gay. So like I was in the hallway and they came and they like hit me with a book like out of nowhere. Yeah. I was like in my locker and it was like bam. You know what I mean? But it was so crazy because when it happened, I was also kind of popular in the school. So as it was happening, so I don't know how, but like we had different lunches, right? Somehow it got all the way to like the lunch that was presently going on, because we was in passing period. It was a whole nother lunch on the other side of the school. It was like, dang, Trent, somebody hit me. All I know is it was the sweetest thing in the world. I ain't never seen. This dude ran. All you saw was him running up the, like, he just jetting. And now, mind you, he had to come along. I don't know how. Had to be eating lunch all the way on the other side of school. Came up, was like, what happened? Like, just was going ham, And so I just had to share that moment because it was really, it showed me, where our connection was and where we was. And that was one of the moments where people in the school, it was a confirmation for people in the school, because people knew, but they was never. But that right there for people, they was like, oh yeah, this nigga that came out of this nigga eating lunch, then ran up lunch like
right. Who did it to you?
Yeah, you know what I mean. So that was a real nice moment. So, but yeah, I say that would be my first boyfriend.
Have you ever? So y'all still cool or no?
Yeah. So that story continued, and I make that very brief because they also never came out until. So we after middle school we parted ways and went to 2 different high schools. Freshman and sophomore year, we met back up at the same high school. Now, mind you, everybody had forgot this person like messed around because it's so crazy how when I disappeared they forgot that we was even like friends, right? So he was like hella straight, by the time I went back to, I was like, how the fuck y'all what? You know what I mean? And so then he had never came out. He had other girlfriends in between that time. So when we met back up at this other school, he was like, an athlete and whatever. And I had went to Hazel East by that point. So when I was like baby gay and not out at that time, but I had went to Hazelwood East. So by the time I got to my my junior year, I was like, "What's up?" You know what I mean? So we met at two different phases of I'm straight now and you hella fucking gay. You know what I mean? So we met, but then we met. It was like, oh, and I think. I'm just gonna say this on the show. That particular day, we definitely fucked. So like that was a nice experience. But they end up doing some fuck shit. You know what I mean? Because they were straight at the time. You know what I mean? So
didn't want
our
nobody to know.
Yeah, and so it became hella close, but they couldn't show it. So there was rumors that started in the school. Like some people that went to the same school with us was at the school, right? And so they was like they started to remember seeing us hanging out more and more. They was like, wait a minute, you know what I mean? Like, and so then the rumors kind of to start, you know what I'm saying? So then people would come to me and say, "Hey, is you?" And I'm a very honest person. I've always been a very blunt person. Well, I didn't say that, you know what I'm saying? Because I felt like that wasn't. I also I'm honest, but I also kind of felt like it wasn't my position or my place to do that. You know what I mean? But I also am not gonna lie, so I didn't give answers, which in sense was an answer in a way. You know what I mean? But I at least felt better about myself because I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? But I'm also not gonna tell your business. So if they interpret it, whatever. So he would go though, and from what I heard, when people would ask him, he would say things that was like, man, you know what I mean? That kind of whole like deal, and that just hurt me. You know what I mean? Because I held. You know what I'm saying? Your secret in, your whatever in. I never tried to, whatever. And so if that's what you did say, it just kind of hurt because we were, really close.
I get that.
And then, what ended up happening is they end up kissing a boy in the hallway one day. And that just broke my little heart. You know what I mean? Because I was like, dang, I didn't even know he kissed me in the hallway. You know what I mean? And so then they basically came out. You know what I'm saying? And so it left me like, I didn't went through all of this shit.
And you still
and then you gonna come out in the hallway with some random ass. You know what I mean? So that was that. Anyway, so I was really bitter with that person for a long time. But we cool now. We've had the conversation. And they don't give a fuck about this. You know what I mean? So we cool.
Yeah, that's what's up.
That's what's up.
Did you ever have I know I'm one of your friends that's straight.
Yep.
You had friends that were straight, right? Before, like through your life, like
So most of my close friends are straight people. I hate to say straight people. Heterosexual people. I'm correcting myself as I go. Heterosexual people. Most of my friends were heterosexual, and they were heterosexual men. Like my best friends have all been, and I've had several best friends through the course of my adult life, and they've all been heterosexual men. Now, sometimes I question and ask myself, I feel like all of them have been like 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, 2 years, and they've kind of like went away, you know what I mean? And and it's crazy because we were like close, you know what I mean? Like most of my, we were like tight, you know what I mean? To the point where sometimes people was like, oh, they gay, you know what I mean? Which honestly has been something, I'm gonna be honest, that's been a trauma in my life actually, because I've had such close, like, you know what I'm saying? This is, we tight, you know what I'm saying, with people, and then like they disappear.
Isn't that it's like more of like an anxiety, like a separation anxiety? Do you suffer from that, like separation anxiety?
I mean, that's a little harsh, you know what I mean? Like separation anxiety, I'm cool, you know what I'm saying? Like you ain't got that much power, but it definitely does. It's more so just trauma, you know what I mean? It's more so trauma. It's hurt. Relate friendships. I think people put a lot of energy into intimate and sexual relationships, but friendships, platonic friendships can become really platonic, and you can really be in love. You know what I'm saying, with friends, not in a sexual, intimate way.
Yeah, we talked about that on one of the episodes.
And that has happened. You know what I mean? Most of my heterosexual, friends that I've been, friends with, we've had that close of a bond. You know what I mean? And so, and even some of them have been vulnerable enough to like show that, because me personally, most men have a masculine and feminine side. Most people in general have masculine and feminine traits, right? Yeah. And so a lot of them have been, comfortable enough to kind of express and show that they have emotions, they have feelings, they have a more, whatever side. And so for them to kind of like disappear or go, I've always been left with that question of like, well, what happened? You know what I mean? Because some of them you know, just kind of fell off the face of the earth. You know what I mean? Without any explanation.
Right.
You know, and you know, it's been hurtful. You know, yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
You got a question, Kugo?
Well, so you get kind of like touched based on it like a little bit. Far back, it was with the household, like, because I was one that known like if you become what you like Chris Brown. Let's take Chris Brown's situation and Rihanna, right? So in the household, he used to see his mama get beat by his stepfather, right? So, but then he ended up becoming what he have seen. Right. So that's when like you have kind of like answered it, but I was just kind of wanted to go back into like people like also like it's two questions to it, because there's another question where it's like molestation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
have you been molested?
Like, you know, those type of things. Can that be the reason why you're, you know, why you decide to deal with men, or why a woman decided to deal with another woman? Like, do you believe in some of that stuff, or it's kind of like you just?
I know some of that to be true.
Okay.
I think. See, the thing is, people want to make, you know, people being. Because I also feel like saying gay or saying homosexual it's not that simple. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's a spectrum of attraction, and some people are like all the way over here. Some people in here. Some people like there is a spectrum, and I feel like to me one of the biggest problems is, and this is hard because this goes against some like LGBTQ people, is labels. Okay. You know, because I think there are a lot of people who don't fit any of those labels, which is why they added that plus to LGBTQ. Okay. You know what I mean? But so I just prefer the plus period, because there is so many people who are like especially men, you know, that are just like, well, no, women too, like that are just in that spectrum, kind of like, you know, up in there. But also like how you form attraction is kind of, there's a spectrum, because definitely some people, you know, form attraction based off of molestation. That is true. That does happen. But I feel like it's unfortunate that it's like this, but people want that to be the main reason that people become, like, people literally will force the idea of molestation on gay people, because like, you cannot be gay unless you were molested. You know what I mean? And that's not true. You know what I mean? Because the other thing about molestation, and this is just factual, I never forget, there was a friend of mine, good girlfriend of mine, very close, and we were close to the point where this girl, you know, she would tell me all her secrets. We would be to the house. You know, I thought that we had an awesome relationship. She had a son and a daughter, right? And so she called me one day, and she just was like, she really needed a babysitter, right? And she was just kind of like, I don't know what to do. And literally the entire conversation, she never alluded to, can you watch the kids, right? Now she knew that I was totally free. She called me in frustration, being upset, being whatever. And in my mind, as I'm listening to her, I couldn't help but like wonder, yo, we having a whole conversation and you crying about you can't get a babysitter for this thing that you have to do that's so bad. And I'm sitting here, I ain't got shit to do. And you ain't asked me one time to like watch your kids. And that set with me, you know what I mean? And then one day I asked her, she said, well, I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with you watching the kids. And I was like,
wow. And what was the genders of the boys?
She had a one boy and one girl.
Okay.
I was like, wow. You know what I mean? And so, and the interesting thing about that is, when you look at the statistics of molestation, especially in black homes, it's usually if it's a guy, you know, messing with a little girl, or, you know, whatever, even if it's a guy messing with a little boy, they're usually your cousin who has a girl, your family member, but it's your male family member that has a wife or a girlfriend, or your brother that you think is straight, that you know what I mean, that you know, whatever, because pedophilia, I have seen people associate pedophilia with being LGBTQ. Those are not the same things. Pedophilia is a sickness. It is an issue. It's something that is just, it's a problem. You get what I'm saying? Being a gay man is not the same as being a pedophile. Those are separate things. And so you got to separate that. Pedophilia sometimes has nothing to do with gender. Sometimes they just want to mess with kids, period. The gender is not relevant. It's just the sex is all that. That has nothing to do with a person's sexuality, right? So you're sitting here saying you're uncomfortable with me watching your kids, when statistically speaking, probably the first 10 people that are gonna come out of your mind or your brain to choose are all statistically more inclined to do this act than I am.
Yep.
I'm actually in actuality, openly gay men are usually the ones in some of these situations where you call, they finna come in the room. What the fuck going on? That's the gay men. I know that's what they do. You know what I mean? Like this crazy ass, you know. And so it's amazing that we take that kind of like, and it's like, are you serious? I'm the person that's gonna come in here and fuck this shit up because somebody didn't mess with your kids.
Yeah. Right.
You get what I'm saying? So yeah. So did that answer the question?
That's
give context to it.
Yeah, you got another one.
Yeah. That's hey man. That's why you here for real. Because like a lot of people like I say think like me and AB like like especially men. We don't know these things. You know what I'm saying? And you here to educate us as well as educate the fans. I do got another one. So as far as a gaydar, you ever heard of that? I know you did.
What is that?
Gaydar, like you can basically explain gaydar. So basically, before you explain it, is it a such thing?
How you gonna say explain it, but then say
because I know I ain't gonna say it the way I know I ain't gonna say it the way he'll say it.
Okay.
Okay. So, do you know when you see a gay man, basically?
So I mean, listen, I think gaydar is people use it. It's kind of like slang isn't the word, but people use gaydar. I don't like it because I think it's misleading.
Okay.
Because again, there's a spectrum, and I feel like when you say gaydar, it kind of indicates that any man you see that is attracted to men in any capacity is gay, and that's not true. There are bisexual men that's another thing.
Yes, it is.
We kind of cloak anytime a man has any kind of attraction in any capacity to a man in any way, they're gay. That is not the truth.
Like we can't even say like, and body, dang.
Yeah.
We'll be like, oh,
yeah.
Pause.
Right.
Right. And the thing is, seeing a body and saying, man, some, you know what I mean? Like that does not. And I know
it don't
hard.
Tell you gay.
It's hard for me. It's really hard for men, heterosexual men, black heterosexual men, to say that, to feel that, to hear that, and not just feel like, oh, you know what I mean?
But and since I used to bodybuild, but bodybuilding, like we will say like, yo man, you shredded. You know what I'm saying? That's us complimenting you, saying like, yo, you kind of, and so. I'm not do it all the time, but I'm in the gym like, yo, you shredded, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? They be like, oh man, appreciate it, dog. Thanks, I'm good with that.
But you see how we have to add a certain kind of tone or masculinity to that,
like my nigga.
In order for it to be acceptable. You get what I'm saying? And so that's we can go so deep into that because that goes. I'm trying to like, because that goes, all of that wraps up into when I go back to like misogyny and like sexism with women. It's so weird because as much as heterosexual men say that they enjoy women, right? We are kind of, I don't want to say scared, but femininity, whether it's in women or in gay men or whatever, we come at in all, and I'm not saying we because I'm not a straight man, a heterosexual man, but it's feminine for some reason. Masculinity has to be dominant. It has to be up here, whether it's to women or whether it's to gay men. You know what I mean? And so it's always, but we have to be masculine and macho, and that's not even masculinity. The definition and the meaning of masculinity is not. That's not masculinity. And so we've been conditioned to believe that means you're masculine. You can be all of that and be the all kind of thug you want to be and not be masculine. You know what I mean? And not be that does not make you a man. You get what I'm saying? But gaydar. So I do feel like you can see a person and feel like, because everything is a rumor until they tell you it's true. You know what I mean? So
everything is a rumor to the
so you can see a person and be like, man, they might be gay, but you're basing that off of what you've been conditioned to believe is gay, right? I know men who talk a certain way, right? With a certain tone or a certain like twang or whatever, and this is where, you know, they have been raised around maybe more women, or they have been whatever, so their voice and how they talk or the terminologies they use or whatever, you may perceive as feminine. And I know people who will hear them talk and pay attention to their mannerisms and will say, my gaydar going off. Now some of these people I know personally, and I know that that's definitely a straight man, has no interest whatsoever in men. But and I'll let people talk, right? I say, okay, cool, your gaydar going off. Okay, cool, got you. You know what I mean? Knowing that this is a heterosexual man, but see, you think it's a gaydar because you've been conditioned to believe that gay looks like this or it sounds like this. You know what I mean? So when people say they have a gaydar, I just think it's misleading, because most people are basing their gaydar off of what they feel is gay. Like there's only one kind of gay, or one way to be gay, and that's not true. There are a lot of masculine men who, you know what I'm saying, are attracted to men. You would know, because you feel like masculinity is not associated with being gay. You know what I mean? It's femininity that's gay. You know what I mean? But yes, I believe there are some people who can kind of like, I think, you know what I mean? Because for me, I hate to say this too, this kind of fucked up. A lot of the guys that are attracted to me or who talk to me are usually down low guys, discreet guys, very masculine guys, you know what I mean? So because of my lived experience, a lot of times when I'm out and about, I'm like, okay, I can tell by the way. You can pick it up. I'm like, dang, man, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Like, what would they do? Like, what is like a sign that'll tell you, like, I'm finna hop on him?
So I'm trying to be very careful with this, because I don't want, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
You're like, but so you know, just situations like, you know, and it's hard. This is hard, yo, because again, and I think maybe this is one of the reasons, because this is a struggle. So I'm yet struggling as I'm talking to y'all. Okay. I'm yet struggling and understanding this part of my life. I'm growing in this understanding, because this is a very interesting thing that I have to go through, because again, all of my heterosexual close friends, all of my close friends and best friends in my lifetime have been heterosexual black men. And most of the guys that have talked to me and tried to, you know, have some type of interest have been perceived heterosexual black men, right? And so a lot of times I've had to really like see what is the difference and be like, you know, sometimes I've been confused, I'm not gonna lie, because sometimes the energy has been the same.
Have you ever slipped and thought and then it wasn't, and then
yes,
you lost the friendship?
Yes. So I never really said anything. I usually kind of let it eventually come out, you know what I mean? But I have lost the friendship because of that, and I didn't say anything, but when a person knows you so well, they know your energy, right? And so this particular friend, I know that he knows when I'm interested in somebody, or when I'm like trying to like send hints and notes or whatever. So I strongly believe, and this is one of those times where they never really told me anything, it just disappeared. I strongly believe that they knew that I was confused and I had developed feelings or emotions, and then they probably was like, you know what I'm saying, I'm out. But I also have had, you know what I'm saying, straight male friends that have been my close friends, and that I know that over time they had like, you know, developed some type, and they didn't know or understand how to like express it or say it, and they just went away. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So, but for me, so to answer your question, it would just, I'm trying to think of ways. It would be like, if they come over the house, you know what I'm saying, they'd be at the house, and then like it'd be slow, like intimate, like the intimacy like gets closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. Like it'd be like stuff like, now why is your leg, you know what I mean, like, or like, okay, so like it'll just be stuff that's like, it's subtle, you know what I mean, like a hand here, subtle, or whatever,
kind of like
how you do it with a female.
It'll just be stuff like that, or they'll lead into conversations about, this has been actually this is consistent, they will have conversations about women, and then they'll start asking more and more detailed conversations about, you know, well, what is it like with, you know, with a dude, and like that, and how is it, you know what I mean? And so I'm like, okay. And so now, if you just, some of my friends that are straight, that I know are straight, just want to have those conversations because they want to know. Then they get so deep and be like, so yeah, you know, such and such, you know, did you teach her how to suck dick? You know what I mean? And they be like, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know what
I
I mean?
get
So
it. What about this era we in now? Do you feel like it's easier to be to come out as a gay man compared to say 10, 20 years ago?
yes.
Why you say?
Shit, Lil Nas X. You know what I mean? I hopefully we can talk about that later.
We hit it there.
I do.
We definitely hit it in that
I
direction.
do. I definitely do. I definitely do. I mean, and I just think that there's more visibility. It's more visibility. It's more empowerment. I think that first of all, gay people can fight.
Yeah, I know.
And
Yes,
so
yeah.
and
We
so
all
I
Seen
think.
that a couple times.
Yeah, I think
In the
that
hood.
that
Yeah.
yeah. And
Turn
but
on
that
the
was
hood.
part of the turnaround though. You know what I mean? Like once because the thing is gay people probably have always, know how to fight, a lot of times.
Yeah.
But sometimes the mental and emotional like trauma can hurt you so bad that you're not even ready to fight and you're not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But once they start to kind of get over that and say, fuck that, I'm finna, hey, come on, let me, you know what I mean? And start beating ass.
Yeah.
That really happened in St. Louis. Like St. Louis had some fighting ass. Like I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And so
I've seen it a couple times at the
that
club.
totally changed. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot because it's like I'm gonna do what I want. There are so many schools I know that had that one gay dude that was just out as a motherfucker. And,
Well, nobody
and
fuck
people
with
talk
him.
shit,
Yeah.
but they definitely did it when he didn't hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they would just whoop ass. You know what I mean? So that on top of visibility, I think has kind of had people more like out and to do it or whatever. I still think but there's still like millions of DL people though. You know what I mean? So while it's definitely more, I say, acceptable in some places. You know what I mean? It's still a lot of DL people. Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so let's. I want to get to this.
Okay, go ahead.
The big word, the big F word, like. Now this is probably me being ignorant. I'm not even gonna lie.
Ignorant.
Because I believe that, and you can tell me like, no, nigga, that's not it. Okay, like I just used it right there. Like how white people cannot call us nigger at all. They can't say nigger.
Right.
They can't say nigga. It don't matter what it is. They can't say it.
Right.
But we can call each other niggas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I do is that in the gay community where
Fag?
yeah, like you can call
say
that,
it, yeah.
you can say it, but we can't say it because we're not in the gay community. And also could you break down why it's so disrespectful to the gay community?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It is a good question. So I don't use nigga.
Yeah.
Nigger. I don't use any. I don't.
Did you train yourself to not use
Yes.
nigga? Okay.
Yes. I probably slipped up maybe like once or twice this year.
Okay.
But
Get
I
mad enough, it comes
yeah,
out.
yeah, I try my best not to because I just think that and I understand why culturally we've given that a different definition or a different kind of power. You know what I mean? I understand why. I personally just still think it's problematic. But I do understand why some folks felt like whatever. I'm gonna change the narrative with this word. Good for you. For me, I just don't like it.
Gotcha.
So I don't use it at all.
Gotcha.
Fag. I don't use that word.
Gotcha.
At all. To my knowledge, it's still a cigarette. You know what I mean? So that's just how I see it. However, do I know gay people that use the word? Yes. But gay people don't use the word fag as common and as casually as black folk use the word, nigger. Like, not at all. Because when we do, the crazy thing is we're not changing the narrative of the word. We still, most of the time when I hear folks use the word, it's meant to be offensive. Like when I call, man, get your faggot ass to another gay person. I'm using it the way that, somebody else would say it to me. So I'm still, rolling with the narrative that has been attached to the word. You know what I mean? As something negative. Whereas black folk, niggas in all the songs, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what's up, my nigga? It's empowering, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you said it was like a cigarette, like
yeah. So that's the actual definition. Like, so I believe it's British.
Okay.
That's where the word.
That's where it came from. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
So-
I never knew that.
So, did you answer why it's offensive though?
Oh, okay. So why would be offensive? I'm not a cigarette.
Gotcha.
And two, it's offensive because of why you're using it.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
Using it in a more of a malicious intent.
Yeah, your intention is negative. Like, why are you calling me a fag? You know what I mean? You could call me gay, you can call me queer, you can call me my name, you know. Why are you using the word fag? Like, what other reason are you using the word fag other than to be intentionally, negative? And even though I've heard some people use the word casually and not like, man, this one fag, he's funny as fuck. Like, I've heard people use it like that. No, like you don't get to like, I'ma just no.
Gotcha.
You don't get to do that.
And that's what I think. Like, we can't say the F word, and white people can't say nigga. And I don't give a fuck if it's in the rap song.
Right.
You better be. I did bouncing work at this white club, and Kendrick Lamar, DNA, come on, and then like you hear them, like it get to the N word, and I'm looking at everybody, but them motherfucker, what you do? What you do? They all look at me like. Yeah. You better not say this shit.
Yeah. Right. I just, but see, for me though, and the reason why I don't like using either the words, because I think that's, yes, if you're white, you should not be using the word nigga because of, but I just kind of feel like I don't even want to put anybody into those positions to where they have to, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like using a word and just constantly using it, it's just. And I think we give mixed messages as like black folks sometimes, and this is some people probably gonna come at me when I say this, you know what I mean? But yes, white folks have to be accountable, but I also want to be honest and say, if I got 3 black folks sitting right here and we've all made you feel differently about how to use and how not to use the word nigga, and then you say it, and then one of us gets mad, but yet you've been hanging with me and I done made you feel okay saying it, and we didn't been rapping, you know what I'm saying? And it's cool for you to say it because you are cool, you a black white person or you or whatever, but then this person now you got attitude because they saying they've been given this mixed, you know what I'm saying, type of energy to run with, and it's kind of like either it's not acceptable or it is, you know what I'm saying, or I think it's just very I just think it's confusing sometimes, right? Like, like I don't, when I hear that and when I'm in a room full of white folk, honestly, I'm not looking to hear if they say the word or not, because I feel like if this is a group full of white folks and all of their friends is black and y'all be in a house and singing all of these songs with nigga in it all the time, anything repetitive for any human being is gonna be something. You can't tell me that when they in the house singing that song and ain't nobody around that they don't say the word nigga because it's in the fucking song and they've heard the song 100 times. When you hear fag is in a song, in rap songs all the fucking time. True. Do you say fag when you rapping in the song? Probably yes, if you say in the lyrics, you know what I'm saying? But when you around me, do you call me a fag? No, because you feel like it's inappropriate and offensive, but you gonna say it at home. You get what I'm saying? So I think in that analogy, why don't you think that them white people gonna slip up sometimes? Because you gonna do it too when you hear the word fag. You know what I mean? I just kind of feel like we it's okay for us to create that picture when it comes to like race and like white and black people. But then when it comes to like homophobic stuff or gay issues, it's like we don't understand how those things can parallel in a way that they happen. You know what I mean? So I just don't like to use either of the words. You know what I'm saying? But I understand. You know what I mean? I hear you, but that's just my.
No, like that. That's good.
All right,
I'm gonna tell you. The word nigga is I'm just being honest.
Is it fun?
It's not even. It just be sometimes I just be going. I just be going and when I get real mad or if I get really like excited or something.
You get mad enough.
When I get excited, I'll be like I had to catch myself sometimes. Be like, okay, you said nigga word. Like it was like it was like no words. Nigga. I'm like, hold up, bro. You just said it too much now.
I do think it's good just to cap that for me though. But I do think what I do appreciate though is that we have at least changed nigger to nigga. And when we say nigga, we can say it like shorter. We put a little, because black folk we put style into words.
Everything,
you know what I mean? So we can say one word 12 different ways. You know what I'm saying? And the way that we say it can tell you how we mean it. Man, nigga, that's tight.
Yeah.
Man, nigga. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? So I kind of like that because at least it gives it. We know that the intention isn't to be a certain kind of way. Fag just doesn't have that same thing. Usually when they fag, it's one way. So
gotcha.
All right, my brother. the rising star, Lil Nas X. All right, so how do you feel about Lil Nas X? Just straight up, like straight.
I love him. I love him, and I had to grow into loving him as much as I do right now to say that wholeheartedly. Love him. I think that I like today, you know, I was hearing his music and his stuff, and I literally just was like, I really got emotional.
Yeah. Just dropped, what is it, Montero?
Yeah, I got emotional because he has done something that so many people have just not been able to do. You know what I mean? And the crazy thing is, just to give history, gay folk are so influential and such a part of black culture in general that, you know what I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see somebody who is standing completely fully in their identity and being appreciated and seen for it. Because when you think about gospel music, and when you think about how gospel music, and you know, this gonna ruffle some feathers, when you think about how some of the cultivators and innovators of gospel music are gay black men, you know what I mean? And we're not gonna say they're gay black men. We're just gonna say, I love such and such music. You know, they was a gay black man. You just don't want to say that. You don't want to say that your industry has completely been, you know, revolutionized by black gay men and this church. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to say how jazz, which has turned into R&B and soul, into all of these things, was full of black lesbian women. You know what I'm saying? And black bisexual women, Ma Rainey, Bessie Smith, like Billie Holiday, all of these names in black history that were the mothers and empresses and fathers and creators of this music were like lesbians and like bisexual women who were proudly lesbian. We don't even say that out loud. You know what I mean? And that type of music is what birthed some of the music that we all listen to. You know what I'm saying? When we think about rap, you know, rap is something that evolved from poetry, you know, and black poets. And some of the most notable black poets, from Langston Hughes to James Baldwin, and a few others, even the women, were gay black men and lesbian women. You know what I mean? And so to see Lil Nas like standing up, I'm gonna go back. We talk about Luther Vandross, you know, who never publicly came out. And you know what I mean? And we talk about even Whitney Houston, you know what I mean? And her situation.
There's some
you know what I mean?
allegations of Johnny Gill.
Right, you know,
Johnny Gill
allegations. So hey,
I said that right? Allegations.
Yeah, you saying it right. You know, allegedly. You know what I mean? That's good.
That's
That's
allegations.
good. You know,
allegedly.
It's so much more than that, man. I mean, it's so many of the artists, like, you know, and Queen Latifah is another person. You know what I mean? Like, Queen Latifah is like iconic in black culture. First of all, we don't give shout out to Queen Latifah.
She definitely.
We don't give her enough.
She definitely needs to
She
give flowers.
is like acting like she's like really up there. You know what I mean? And we just now gave her a fucking BET Achievement Award. Like, are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? But Queen Latifah is we know. You know what I mean? Right. And so I think it's really kind of messed up. Go ahead.
No, you good.
I think it's really kind of messed up that, you know, Lil Nas is the first black gay person to be celebrated at this level when we've had so many who have revolutionized, you know what I'm saying, what we call music. Even though I don't personally.
You said you grew into him.
Yeah, because at first I'm a musical critic. You know, I'm definitely a musical critic because I've been in the industry. And although I'm not, I don't have millions of records. I'm not a millionaire. I ain't so, you know, I don't got a Grammy, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you can choose to hear my opinion or not, but I have one. And my opinion is based off of experience, because although I may not be up here, I've definitely opened for a lot of, you know, mainstream artists. I've been offered a lot of opportunities that I didn't do because I refused to not be gay and be open. You know what I mean? And so I've been, you know, I know a lot of, you know, folks that are famous. I know I've been in a lot of, you know, rooms to know about the industry in a lot of capacities, in a lot of ways. And so I wasn't sure who Lil Nas X was. I didn't know if this was a puppet. I didn't know if he was authentic with, you know, the artistry, you know, because I felt like maybe this is just somebody who has an amazing team and they just made you great. You know what I mean? Which is, hey, get your money. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to praise you as, you know, this kind of like revolutionary artist, because that ain't you. You know what I mean? Because there are some people, I'm not going to say it because I'll probably get beat up after this live, but there are some people who are absolutely products of a team and they made them great. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna praise you, you know what I'm saying, and tell you this artistic visionary for something that ain't yours.
Right.
You know what I mean? You a great puppet, but that ain't yours. You know what I mean? So with Lil Nas, I'm like, I don't know if this is him. Until I really started to pay attention and watch his character, his charisma, his personality, I'm like, this dude is brilliant, and this is him. Like, I just really felt at some point like, this is authentically this dude. That's amazing. You are being yourself, like, and he grew. I think the more and more comfortable he got, the more and more you saw his personality and his character. And I was like, I love it. You know what I mean? Like, this stuff that he's been doing, I feel like a lot of that is coming from his brain. And that's just, it's phenomenal to me.
I mean, I'm gonna be real transparent.
I'm probably go there with you too.
Is we going over time?
No. We good. I'm gonna be real transparent. So like, what you probably seen on the net about, you know, what he put out as far as his videos and his visuals, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if it's just the way I'm conditioned, whatever.
Yeah.
I know you probably know where I'm finna come from. But it's like, to see, like since I'm heterosexual and I don't want to see it, like, I don't want to see it. Like, I praise him, like, cause he being him. Yeah. But I'm a product of, if it ain't for me, I'm not gonna see. So, you know what I'm saying? I kind of glance over something and I'm like, oh no, and it's not that I'm thinking it's gonna change me from watching it. It's just not for. I just don't want to see it because it's like it. I don't know. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
So I don't want to see. But yeah, like when he first started, you know, I'm like, oh, what the. Hey, turn it.
You talking about the recent stuff?
This first video when he was really
call
like,
me by your new.
So let me be transparent about that. Like, I like how you was. Like, I was in acting and I was in TV shows, commercials. So I like a great performance.
Yeah.
Was it the BET Awards where he was kissing the guy?
Yeah.
That don't bother me because his performance was like the shit. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, that motherfucker was good. Like, so what bothers me more so is that I feel like he's going out there for the attention. It's no problem saying, hey, yo, look, this is what I, you know, this is who I am. But I feel like he's like taking it overboard. Like, to me. I know he's ready. Like prime example, like people like heterosexual like kissing and stuff is on TV.
Right.
Don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? Like men kiss don't bother me. But the baby, that is like, okay, bruh. Like, but then as he on the Breakfast Club, I think it's what it was.
Yeah.
He talked about his. I didn't know that his album was coming out, so I get it now. The baby was his album.
He does this thing.
Is that behind the baby's name?
Yeah. Like, okay. Baby was his album.
Yeah. It's just like, it's like, okay, bro, we know that you gay. Okay, cool. But just we get that. But it's like, yo, like I think you crying for attention, and it's like, yo, we don't, you know, just be you, bro. Like, that's cool. Be you. And I mean, like everybody, like it's becoming like a okay thing to kiss each other on TV. Like, that just happens. You know what I'm saying? That's just life. That's what, you know. That's your choice. But it's just that baby shit is what got me. I was like, bruh. And then he put the fake titties. I was like, fam.
I mean, as far as like trying to get it out there, I mean, I get that.
The fake titties is what got.
I was just laughing.
I was like, did this nigga really gonna get like a breast implant, like, for real?
Oh my God. Okay, so wait, let me not cut you off.
No, you good. You good.
Well, before you say something, bro.
Yeah.
So
It's the path for me.
I'm just trying to so my whole thing is like, I know that it's just new territory right now. We in 2021. So before you say something, I just want to let you know, I just think it's just so unfamiliar right now, and it has to become more familiar for people like me and AB to just, I mean, we can't do nothing but accept it. I mean, it's what it is. But I'm just saying, as far as like us having a comment over it compared to two women doing something on TV. We used to see that. I mean, from Janet Jackson's to, you know what I'm saying? We used to seeing that.
To be real transparent, I don't even like that though.
Well, I do. So. But go ahead. What you got to say after what we said?
After y'all just went ham on Lil Nas.
Hey man, he getting his money though.
Yeah. So listen,
money,
I love it. You know what I mean? And that's not because here's the thing. And this is one of the reasons why I feel like I can be in situations like this, and this is a good thing and a bad thing, because sometimes all gay black men, gay queer black men are not allowed into spaces like this. You know what I mean? Or not asked to come into spaces like this, or you know what I mean, aren't comfortable in spaces like this. Comfortable. You know what I mean? And like, it's partially because, my life has really been kind of, honestly, I've had a lot more interactions with heterosexual people, you know what I mean, especially earlier, and you know what I'm saying, than I have with like other, you know what I'm saying, gay folk. And so I can like understand the conversation from, both ends of the spectrum a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, and be that kind of in between person and not necessarily be offended, especially when I know that you're trying you're just being honest, right?
Yeah, just being honest.
And so I get that. Now the thing that I like, that I hope I can like expand on and get y'all to think about, is the reason why you feel, the way about some of these things, because I think sometimes it isn't rooted in, I just don't want to see that. I'm like, it's why don't you want to see that, and why does it make you feel uncomfortable, and why does it make you squinch, and why does it make you tense up, and why does it, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times I found that it doesn't come from a place of you really giving a fuck. You've just been conditioned to like feel that, this is, because a lot of the straight men don't really care. The straight men I know that are just, I know so many straight men that just don't give a fuck at all. You know what I mean? Like, that's a dope video, period. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and but they've also been raised in certain environments where it's like, I'm straight, I don't really care what you're doing at all. That's dope, that's creative, this nigga is fun. I just said, nigga.
We rubbing off on you, dog.
Yeah, we got you.
That's my third time this year.
We got you.
So they've been in that space like, no, that dude funny. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing, I'm trying to be brief. When the whole marketing, right? I said this on Facebook earlier. It is marketing. You get what I'm saying? Like
it's great marketing.
It's great marketing.
His stuff, which is what I love about him, because he's using sarcasm, right? A lot of his marketing is intentionally almost too much, right? Because it's a sarcasm, and it's almost a spit in the face of like, let's break down, the first video, Call Me By Your Name. So many Christians got offended by that video. You know what I mean? Lil Nas's dad is a gospel singer.
Yeah. You know is that the one where he was like the
yeah. So many people got offended by that video. You know what I mean? But his dad is a gospel singer, and he definitely, identifies as a faith believer in God, right? But the video was a spite to how the church has really demonized and all kinds of shit, LGBTQ people. And so he did the video intentionally in that way, because there was a lot of hidden messages in the video. It was a lot of things like that. And, it wasn't even, it was to basically show, how the church has done gay people, right? So there was a message behind it. And sometimes, unfortunately, in the business and in general, you have to overdo stuff for people to even get the littlest piece.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so he's doing stuff like that, you know what I mean, to get people to have conversations that they would never have otherwise. We've had all kinds of, you know, black gay men come out and something, not all kinds, but a lot. We had the Frank Ocean, we had, you know, Chance's brother, you know, we've had
Chance's brother came out?
Yeah.
We've
had situations with, you know, Jaden and a couple other people, you know, that, you know, and there's the other.
What's the other guy?
Tyler, the Creator.
Creator.
You know, and even other ones, you know what I'm saying, over time. And football players and just all the basketball, all different like smaller, you know what I mean? But it was never significant enough for us to have real ass conversations. You know what I mean? Because we heard it and we went about our business.
Right.
Lil Nas said, okay, no, because y'all refuse to have this real ass conversation. Y'all still want to act like we not homophobic as fuck, and y'all still want to act like we ain't divided and we ain't having these real. No. Because at this point, it's a whole lot of gay people and it's a whole lot happening. And the more we don't talk about it, the more that we don't get a conversational understanding, sometimes you got to get into it in order to get into it. And so, you know what I mean? Yeah. You have to like ruffle feathers in order to have a real conversation. Some people still not going to get it. But some people are going to say, all right, enough is enough. I don't like this, but I want to understand because I don't want this divide.
And that's what we normally preach on the show, because we like, you have to get uncomfortable to change.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why we want to have you on, because I ain't gonna lie, we both was very what's the word?
Homophobic.
There we go.
I ain't gonna lie.
Were you?
Yeah. Yeah. We
so
both
with us being, you know, good friends, how, like, what is the, and I'm open to like, just be honest.
Okay. So with me and you, I never got nothing. Like, I was always like leery of like if you would make a move on me, you know what I'm saying? But I have respect for you that I don't think you would, you know what I'm saying? But and I actually have a couple other gay friends that, not like, I can't say to consider them friends because I've been around you more than them, but associates, you know what I'm saying? And I can be around them, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's no big deal. I'm like, hey, it's not that. It's just like stuff like watching that. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't there yet. I think it's just I'm at a place now. I'm just trying to mature a little more on that side. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a grown man now, but I, you know, and like, I was talking to my wife that I was gonna have you on. Yeah. And she was like, y'all need to grow up. Like, all right, so that's why we, you know what I'm saying, we just trying to get uncomfortable here.
Oh, wow.
So like, okay, so I was used the word homophobic. Okay. Probably when I was like younger. As I got older, like 25, it was kind of like, cause I worked with a couple gay guys, and it was like, I like they would have like just normal conversations. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, oh, what shit? So I could, cause even though that they were gay, they still would talk about, hey, yo, her body hella bad. Yeah. And I'm like, right, but you know what I'm saying? So that's when it had kind of went out the door for me. I was like, like I said, like how you were saying, like, guys be like, man, look, that's, you know, that's his, like, I'm living mine, that's his, and that's how it was for me. I didn't trip off with a guy. I don't know, if a guy tell me, hey man, you know, you look good, thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, sometimes, you know, the best relationships, the best friendships, some of the best friendships that I've seen, even mine, even the ones that ain't, you know what I mean, have been heterosexual men and gay men, because there's a level of, I'm gonna be honest with you, there's a level of honesty that, you know, a heterosexual man can have with a gay best friend that you may not necessarily be able to have with your straight, you know, black friend. You know what I mean? There's a level of like bluntness and honesty, because most of the time gay black men are just like, all right, tell me, you know, hey, you know, what's going on, any kind of subject or topic, you know what I mean? Those are some of the healthiest brotherhoods and friendships and relationships that some people can have, you know what I mean? So I think it's worth, you know, having conversations and getting over that invisible barrier that kind of is there, you know. But just to just go back to Lil Nas and just to cap it off, like, you know, I just think that he is, their team, him, are just brilliant. I feel like they're pushing the envelope in order to create these conversations. And here's the thing, this man has raised more money for nonprofits and community organizations than half of the haters and the rappers that he has combined. Like the amount of money that this dude has cultivated and created for these nonprofits, the way that he's been doing this, like the baby registry. Like what he did is how you do a baby registry? All the money for the baby registry went to a list of nonprofits. All of the proceeds. You know what I mean? Like brilliant. You know what I mean? Like, so everything that he did, it was like, oh man, it's having a baby. It's all like
it's big. It was bigger than that.
It's not about that. You know what I mean?
I just looked at it as my bad to cut you off. I just looked at it as like I said, I didn't know his album was coming up. Is this his first album?
Yes.
So that's when I was like, okay, I kind of get it now.
Something else.
He had an EP.
That was an EP.
Yeah, but once I realized, this is his first. This is his baby. Makes sense.
The first one he wasn't out. He wasn't out on that first.
It was like a light bulb. I was like, ding, okay.
But see, the thing is, I just encourage you and encourage people to kind of take a step back and think about why is my first initial thought and my first initial feeling disgust or confusion or like or like whatever, without considering that there is an idea, a concept, or a meaning behind something. Because you had to get there. You had to see that he had an album in order for you to say, oh, this makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because when you first saw it, it was like, what the, you know what I mean? Instead of thinking, maybe there's a purpose to this. I just feel like there's like a thing in brains that's like keeping you from feeling like this is something that it might not be. You know what I mean? And if you break that down, because I feel like you get into it, but you didn't even have to do that. You just like, man, let me see what, you know what I mean? Before like assuming that it's something else. You get what I'm saying? I just think, man, Lil Nas is rocking it, and I think he's doing his thing. He's slowly, getting out. But every video has a point and a purpose. Like each video is like having some type of like meaning and some type of like, you know what I'm saying, a point behind it. So I'm just proud of him. You know what I mean? That's all I can say.
That's what's up. Well, episode 64. Cuzzo, you got anything else?
No, I was gonna say, man, we appreciate you coming on, man. Like I said, educating us and educating the fans, man.
It was a pleasure.
I just want to close it out with one thing.
Go ahead.
So understand that being a trans person, and I know this is a whole other conversation, but I just want to end it out. Maybe y'all can have that later.
Okay.
But being a trans person,
bring you back on.
Being a trans person is not the same thing as being a gay person or a queer person. Those are not the same.
I kind of, because I know I heard, I don't know, okay, but I heard there's people that's trans that still like women, like a trans man that's still has his thing but he has breasts, but he still likes women though.
So quickly, trans woman is M to F, which is male to female.
Okay.
Trans man is female to male.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, but that's another conversation.
No, we can bring you back on for that one too, man. Appreciate it, man. Episode 64 podcast Monday.
Hey, tell us how people can find you, follow you, whatever, man.
Yeah, I'm super lame. I ain't on social media like I should be, but most of my stuff is It's Maven Lee, ITS, and then Maven Lee, MAVEN Lee, LEE. It's the same thing on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and mavenlee.com. That's my website. Yep.
All right, bro, man.
All right.
Good stuff, man. You educate the hell out of me and AB. I ain't gonna lie. It's a pleasure to have you on, man. Episode 64 podcast Mondayz. Cuzzo, you gonna take us out?
Yeah. So with that being said, you had a request. What's the name? Cameron. Was it
Cameron Wright?
All right, Cameron Wright. On fire.
Let's
go. This one look was all it took, and night you're deep in a trance. Sweeter than your mama recipe, I don't think you can else. Alluring as a temptress when I undress, you didn't stand a chance. Venomous like poison ivy in your just water in my plan. Ooh yeah. They don't call it cream machine for nothing, no. Open up your mouth and taste this rock and roll. This is as sweet as magnolia. Come on,
it's so hard. I'm finna download it right now. Ooh, that bass kick in. That's all. Make sure y'all listen to this on the headphones or something. AirPods.
I'm on fire. Feels so right. Baby, it's alright. Feel me on fire. Ain't don't get me for control, baby. I'ma take you for a ride. Well, if you wanna dominate me, baby, be to the side. Ooh, got you sweating, moaning, groaning.